Hey, it's Scotty. I'm a volunteer at the LA Guinea Pig Rescue, and we offer free health checks to all guinea pigs. Doesn't matter where they came from, you just go on our website and make an appointment, and you bring your piggies in, and we'll give them a free health check. So I see a lot of wonderful piggies, and I see a lot of sick piggies. So, what are some signs and symptoms that we see that could be an indication of an illness? Guinea pigs have a lot of, or a number of different common illnesses, and it's very rare that they present symptoms that are a complete mystery. Usually the signs or symptoms are related to a specific and fairly common illness. So we're going to talk about 7 signs that your guinea pig is sick. Number 1, and this might be one of the most common signs or symptoms that your guinea pig is sick, and it might be one of the most common illnesses that we see. So sneezing, I'm talking about sneezing. If you see sneezing, then that could be a sign of a respiratory infection. Guinea pigs don't usually have allergies. So many people, they say, oh, my vet said that they have allergies, it's nothing to worry about, and they've had a persistent sneeze for many months or even since they were bought at the pet shop. Now, first, I would urge you to support a rescue and don't shop, but adopt. And the main reason is rescues, especially dedicated guinea pig rescues, but rescues and shelters have vets. They have people who are trained to spot these illnesses, people with lots of experience, and they can spot these common illnesses, and one of those is sneezing. And so if they see sneezing and they can confirm that it's respiratory infection, guinea pigs at shelters and at rescues are usually given a course of antibiotics, and it is very rare that you would adopt a guinea pig that is sick. We would always treat the illness before those guinea pigs would be available for adoption. So sneezing is a very common sign, usually of a respiratory infection. Now, don't confuse a sneeze, which is usually with a cough, which is like. So if your guinea pig coughs, check out what is the situation. It's usually because they're eating veggies fast, maybe they just had a drink of water. But a sneeze is a common sign of a respiratory illness, and if you see one sneeze, be on high alert. If you hear or see another sneeze in the same day, then that is an indication that something's wrong. And if the next day it persists, when you start to hear sneezes, you might think, okay, I better schedule a vet appointment. And the earlier you can do that, the better. Very, very important. So sneezing is almost always not allergies, but usually it's a sign of a respiratory infection. Now, if there's one sneeze and you pay attention and you never hear another sneeze, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you hear multiple sneezes in a day, that should put you on high alert, and you should start thinking about making a vet appointment. And these days, vet appointments are usually days or weeks away. So just be on the lookout for that. Number 2, what is the second sign or symptom that your guinea pig might be sick? That is breathing, different kind of breathing. If the breathing is heavy, if the breathing is labored, if there is an audible sound, if you hear crinkling sounds, or if you hear then that is a sign that something's wrong. Breathing issues commonly indicate also a respiratory infection, or could be a heart issue. Now, if you have breathing issues and your piggy is older, but you're not hearing sneezing, that could be a sign of a heart issue. Now, if you go to the common illness section of my guinea pig care guide, it's a free guide, it's on my website. I go into a lot of these signs and symptoms and common illnesses in detail. So I don't want to spend too much time diagnosing all of these symptoms, but just know that these are signs and symptoms that could be an issue. if you're hearing breathing sounds that sound crinkly, or it just sounds, the breathing does not sound clear when you hold your guinea pig up and you listen to their chest and they're sneezing, that could probably be a respiratory infection. And if those persist, they can lead to other complications, pneumonia. The infection can spread into the inner ear and can cause all sorts of issues. So if you hear any breathing issues, especially if it is paired with sneezing, but any breathing issues at all that don't sound right, don't sound normal, you want to make an appointment for the vet. And most, if not all of these signs and symptoms that you see that are related to common illnesses are something that you're going to want to check out, get a vet to check them out. But here is a video that I made right here about different illnesses that don't require a vet that you can actually treat at home. So check that video out. Check out my free guinea pig care guide, especially the illness section, and that will really help you pinpoint what these common illnesses are, and so that you can learn about them before you see the signs and the symptoms. And so if you ever do, you'll say, I know what that is. So what is number 3? What is the third sign or symptom that your guinea pig might be sick? Now, there are more signs and symptoms. This is not a complete list, so I do urge you to check out the care guide. But in this list is of some of the most common signs and symptoms. What is the third one? And that would be crusty nose. If your guinea pig has a crusty nose, there's like boogers all around their nose, then that could be a sign that they have the sniffles, that they have some kind of a respiratory illness or a cold or something like that. So don't ignore that and say, oh, they're just messy. If they have specifically dried boogers or a runny nose, that is a sign that something's not right. It's not normal. Okay, so what is the fourth sign or symptom? And that's actually related to the third sign, but instead of crusty nose, we're talking runny eyes, leaky eyes, or crusty eyes. So if your guinea pig has wet eyes, or if those runny eyes have dried up and it's crusty around the eyes, then that could be a sign or a symptom also of a respiratory illness, some kind of cold, some kind of issue like that. So those usually go together, but you could see one or the other. Now, don't confuse that with the milky eyes. When guinea pigs are grooming themselves, they will often get a milky substance in one or both eyes, and that's completely normal, nothing to worry about. Even if there's a little crust because of that, if you notice that it's more of a white, milky substance, then that's totally fine. But if they repeatedly or continuously have runny eyes, or they're squinty, or their eyes are just crusty in general, then that can be a problem. Okay, BB, I'm wrapping it up. BB's already asleep, so we got to wrap this up. So what is the fifth sign or symptom that your guinea pig might be sick? And that is they're sleeping a lot. So maybe they are lethargic, or they just sort of seem a little bit more sluggish, or maybe they're just sleeping all the time. So any of these they're sleeping too much, their behavior is a little different, or what if they're just not coming out of their hidey house, even for treats? Any of these kinds of signs or symptoms could mean that they're not feeling well. But this could be a number of things. They could be bloated or have digestion issues, and so they just don't feel good, especially if they're like fluffed up. That could be an indication that they're in pain. If they are young and they're having other symptoms like breathing issues and runny and crusty eyes, and they're sleeping a lot, or they're always stuck in their house, that could be a sign of a respiratory infection. Or if they're older and they're always sleeping and they're very tired or sluggish, that could indicate a heart issue. Now, any of these signs or symptoms, you want to have these checked out by a vet so that they can do a diagnosis, give you an action plan, and get your piggy on the road to feeling better. So don't delay. Guinea pigs are prey animals. They often hide their illness, and the sooner you can take care of it, the better chance and the faster that they're going to recover. I know I say that a lot, but it's so true. That's why it's so important to learn about these common illnesses. So Number six would be any strange noises that you hear. Now, we've already talked about labored breathing, we've talked about sneezing and coughing, but any other strange noises, especially noises that could be interpreted as pain. That's why it's so important to spend time with your guinea pigs every day, because you'll get to know their behaviors, their purrs, their wheeks, their squeaks, all of their little crazy noises. And guinea pigs make a plethora of noises. If you want to learn what those noises mean and how to make them yourself and how to communicate with your piggies, here's a video called How to Speak Guinea Pig, and I think you're really going to enjoy that video. But if you hear noises that you've never heard before, especially like what sound like cries or whimpering, and especially if they're going to the bathroom or what it seems like and they hunch over and then make a noise that could be interpreted as painful, that could be the sign of a stone or a bladder infection or something like that. And so any noises, especially noises that you haven't heard before that could be interpreted as pain, you want to probably get them a vet appointment as soon as possible, and you definitely want to be on high alert. So what is the seventh what is the seventh sign or symptom that your guinea pig might be sick? Now, that is soft poops. Okay, if your guinea pig's poops are soft, or they're runny, or they're misshapen and funky and weird, or if guinea pig poops, I wouldn't say they smell like roses, but they're generally fairly inert. So if they are soft and squishy or weird or smell really, really bad, that could be a sign that digestion is off, that something's not right. And when I get messages and people say, oh, my guinea pig is not feeling well, they're not acting right, the blah, 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 any of these other signs or symptoms, I'll usually definitely ask, well, how are the poops? How's the appetite? Because guinea pigs are poop factories. And if they have an appetite, and if there's poop coming out the other end, and the poop looks good, and their appetite is good, then that is at least a sign that they are stable. They could have other issues. They could be sneezing. They could be whimpering. But if they have a good appetite, that's just definitely a good sign that at least things aren't critical. But any of these signs or symptoms that I've mentioned, those are something that you want to really keep on high alert and probably make an appointment. It's really easy to make a vet appointment, which is usually going to be for a couple days. And then if you have to cancel it, cancel it. But you can always call your vet. Now, I've got a vet list. This is a comprehensive vet list. I've got vets all around the country and all around the world. And it's vets, people who have watched my videos. I've said, hey, do you have a vet that you trust? Message me. You can message me your vet on the contact page of my website, and I will add it to the list as soon as possible. Every few weeks, every month or so, I update that list with all of the referrals that I've gotten. So now I can't say that I've gone to all of these vets, of course, or experienced them, but this is a list of vets from viewers like you that have told me that they've had positive experiences. But of course, your mileage may vary. And if there isn't a vet near you, you could reach out to one of those vets that's close by or in your state and say, hey, do you have a colleague that you would recommend or anybody that you know of? Now, if you have to drive a couple hours for an exotic vet, that might be a better option than going to a vet that you don't know, that you don't trust, that may or may not have good experience with guinea pigs, which are considered exotic pets. Guys, down there you've got Phil and you've got Fox, and they are going crazy talking to each other. So those are 7 signs and symptoms that might mean your guinea pig is sick. And I'll throw in one extra one just as a bonus, and that has to do with scratching. If your guinea pigs are constantly scratching or itching, or God forbid they go into a seizure because they're so overwhelmed with itching, seizures through itching usually indicate mange, which is a subdermal mite that causes this kind of mange. But it could be ringworm, which is a fungus, not a worm. It's a patchy fungus. So if you're seeing scratching or itching, now guinea pigs, they itch, they scratch, and it's relatively common. But if they're constantly scratching and they have dry, flaky skin, they have rashes, there's bald spots, that could be an indication of either mange or ringworm. And I do have a video, I'll put that one right here, but it's also in my free guinea pig care guide. What's the difference between mange and ringworm? And that will help you diagnose both of those. So I really hope that you will go check out my free guinea pig care guide, read through the entire thing, and I'd love to get your feedback. If you're a guinea pig expert, please send me your feedback. Let me know if I could be clearer or if there's a video or something that I should be talking about in the care guide, because the whole point of the channel and the whole point of the care guide is to help people who are caring for their animals and improve the lives of these piggies, because it's up to us, and it's up to us to share the knowledge. And I really thank you guys so much for empowering me to be able to do this. And I hope that you guys will check out the playlist. I'll put it right here. This is a playlist about common illnesses, and you'll see this in the guinea pig care guide. But watch this next and go through the playlist, and you'll see there are so many common illnesses, and you want to learn about them before you see those signs and symptoms so you can identify them and take care of it. All right, guys, until next time, thanks for watching.